Hey, everybody. Welcome to your favorite podcast about popcorn and different types of popcorn.
And corn dogs.
Kettle corn, movie theater butter, white cheddar, caramel.
This is a great opening topic because movie theater popcorn is iconic, but if I'm at home, air popper. Got to do an air popper.
Air popper is good. Every time I go to the theaters, I get the biggest size popcorn. I eat half of it.
Before the movie starts?
Before the movie starts.
I'll eat all of it before the movie starts and feel horrible.
Sometimes I finish it during the movie, but I always crush half of it during the trailers, and then I get a tummy ache.
And then you regret it.
Then I regret it. And then in the final act of the film, I get the munchies, and I'm like, once bitten, twice shy. And then I just pick at it. Mm-hmm. But do you go to the movies if you don't leave with a stomach ache?
I don't go to the movies.
I've been going a lot lately.
I don't have money.
That would help.
We just got taxes for the house for Hale's Corners, and I'm just like, there's less money, and Leonard will be eating some up. But we'll be watching a lot of streaming films.
Yes, which is the way the world's moving pretty soon.
Because if I can rent Begonia for $20 and not go to it in theaters and spend all that extra cash, especially with a pregnant wife, she likes to be comfortable at home and pee when she needs to. So
yeah, and pausing's nice.
Pausing is underrated.
But we don't just talk about popcorn on this podcast. We talk about movies occasionally.
Oh, yes.
And today we are covering the 1999 action-adventure blockbuster, The Mummy.
Where did you get this?
On a dig down in Thebes.
Jonathan, I think you found something.
There is an ancient legend of a place known as the City of the Dead.
We call it the doorway to hell.
Where the earliest pharaohs were said to have hidden the wealth of Egypt.
Are we going into battle?
There's something out there. Something underneath that sand.
They came to uncover its secrets.
Mummies, my good son. This is where they made the mummies.
They sought to unlock its treasure.
And then there was light.
Oh, boy.
What they did
Oh my God, it does exist.
I think this may be the Book of the Dead.
was unleash a force unlike any the world has ever known.
You must not read from the book! What the hell was that?
You have unleashed the creature that we have feared for more than 3,000 years.
Whoa!
He will regenerate and no longer be the undead.
We are in serious trouble.
Do you swim?
If the occasion calls for it.
Trust me! It calls for it!
Universal Pictures invites you
His powers are growing.
What?
This just keeps getting better and better.
to experience the adventure
It appears he's already chosen his human sacrifice.
that will live forever.
If he turns me into a mummy, you're the first one I'm coming after.
Go!
The Mummy.
Yeah, The Mummy. Wow. I'm excited.
Yes, this is one of my favorite movies from my childhood. Just like Con Air, this is probably the one I watched the second most.
I read today that the director of Con Air also did Never Gonna Give You Up's music video.
That sounds about right.
And if it's true, I feel like we missed an opportunity to talk about it. The Mummy, a movie that I've always had very good feelings on. I remember seeing it when I was young because this movie came out, what year?
99.
99. This movie came out when I was 11. And I loved it back then. And ever since then, it's like, I'll watch it random times. I'm like, it's still good. It's still good.
Yeah.
I hadn't watched it for a long time until this recent viewing. And I realized it's not only good, but it is phenomenal.
Yes, it is an incredible movie.
It's even better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's so fucking good. And
I'm Brad.
Oh yeah, we should probably introduce ourselves.
I'm Brad.
I'm Tyler. And when this is my vanity pick, so I didn't have to do a poll this time. If you would like to be in the polls, we have a Patreon that we'll plug at the end. But this was my vanity pick, and I've been talking about doing The Mummy now for a minute. Just haven't found a good opportunity to jump on it.
It's funny because we've done Dracula, we did Frankenstein, and now we're doing The Mummy.
Which seemed fitting. And then on top of that, there's rumors that a fourth one is really shaking out pretty well.
It sounds like it's going to happen.
Yeah, well,
and Rachel Weisz is back. Thank God.
Well, thank God for the Renaissance. I am so glad to have that man back in Hollywood.
And we'll talk about him.
But yes, we are talking about The Mummy today, so we're just going to jump into some development in the cast right away before we start hashing out the plot.
Okay.
So The Mummy, like I said, 1999 action adventure film written and directed by Stephen Sommers.
Yes.
You might know him from The Mummy Returns, Van Helsing, and it was weird. He hasn't really done anything since 2013, according to IMDb. Odd Thomas was like his last credit, but he's working on some stuff now.
It's odd. He was busy for a while. He did the live-action Jungle Book, which people forget happened.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra, which actually has a couple of the actors from this in it as well. He has a lot of the same crew members follow along, and he likes the cast. I think this is a very rare film where like every single person is knocking it out of the park. Even small roles are just shining.
Yes.
The role of the warden, just that slimy guy who like comes along. He's a delight every moment on screen. I'm like, you are perfectly slimy. Your voice is hilarious. Carly says he sounds like Charlie Day, and he does.
He does a little bit.
Yeah.
His name is Omid Djalili.
I'd say Jalili.
Jalili.
Yeah.
I got a fun fact about him towards the end, because fun facts always come at the end. So
Ballad of Gay Tony?
No.
He's a voice actor in that.
Well, I can see that now.
Yeah.
The cast, Brendan Fraser as Rick O'Connell. Everybody knows Brendan Fraser at this point. He was in the Mummy franchise. One of my personal favorites, Bedazzled.
Bedazzled, very
which
good.
He should have won an Oscar for, because that man has some range in that movie if you've never seen it. He plays like 4 totally different characters.
The drug lord, the basketball player with the little wiener.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good movie. Encino Man.
Classic.
Plays the caveman. Crash was like his last big role before he got blackballed from the industry.
He had some other big roles like Journey to the Center of the Earth. There was a few other movies that weren't big hits. Dudley Do-Right kind of killed a lot of his momentum, as well as...
Well, he was also the Jungle Book, or no, Tarzan.
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle. There we go. Third time's the charm.
You were almost struck out there.
Yeah. George of the Jungle was a smash success for him, which led to him getting this role. He was also in Airheads, which is one of my favorite movies that he's in.
Yep.
And everybody knows The Whale, his comeback film that I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up.
I got to mention as well, Blast from the Past.
Yeah.
Fun movie. And Monkey Bone. I still don't know what happens in that movie, and I've seen it like 5 times.
But it's good.
It's good.
I like it.
I did want to mention Stephen Sommers. He also, there's a movie when I looked into some of this called Deep Rising, which I have not seen, which it's a horror film. And it's supposed to be like a cult movie that like people didn't love at the time. It's about a ship and a murderous sea creature with tentacles and Famke Jensen. And I'm like, how do I not know about this horror film? I'm going to look into this. And
I did see that because it's got the same composer as The Mummy. It's the same guy who did the soundtrack for both of those films.
Jerry Goldsmith. Yes.
We have the beautiful, talented Rachel Weisz as Evelyn, or Evie. Her filmography I'm not as familiar with as I thought I would be.
You know her as an actress, but a lot of movies that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I love The Fountain.
Yep, The Fountain, The Lobster.
The Lobster.
And The Constant Gardener was like her, every time I looked into her filmography on a couple different sites, it was like, you probably know her from this movie. That's a movie I haven't seen. But I know her. She's very near and dear to my heart for the Mummy franchise, despite the fact that she's only in 2 of them.
Wow. I mean, we're going to talk about the 4 Scorpion King films?
No, we're not.
Good.
Yeah, we don't talk about those.
I think the Mummy franchise is the worst franchise ever because it spawned The Rock's acting career.
Yeah, and we're not getting dividends from that.
It's been declining.
We have John Hannah as Jonathan, the comedic relief of the film.
He's great.
Yep, he is remarkably funny. He plays a perfect aloof brother that I get a chuckle out of every single time he's on screen.
On set, he was saying, I am not a comedian. I don't know why you cast me for this role.
Yeah.
And the director's like, you got this. And of course, like one of the funniest guys on set.
Yeah. He definitely knocks it out of the park.
When him and Beni are just drinking in the middle of that one like big fight there, Love it.
Yeah, and they're drinking Glenlivet, which the last time I watched this movie, I was a lot younger, and I wasn't familiar with Scotch.
Yeah.
I love Glenlivet.
Yeah.
I did not realize that they were drinking a 14-year, which I think is what I got for one of my birthdays.
Yeah.
But he also was in the Spartacus TV show. You probably know him from that. He fucks a whole bunch in that show.
Good for him.
He was in the Mummy franchise, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, The Hurricane were like some of his top billed films. We have Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep.
South African actor. He is iconic in this role. I think the design for the Mummy works so well because this is a movie franchise. Goes way back to the black and white early days of cinema. And people, they hear Mummy, they think bandages, they think slow lumbering. Essentially a zombie in bandages is kind of what people think of the Mummy. And this is such a reinvention of the franchise, and I really like what they did with them, where they started off with like the real like gooey, emaciated ILM just delivered special effects in this movie.
Because there's 3 stages of their development for the CGI of Imhotep, because you have stage 1, the corpse.
Juicy corpse.
And then you have stage 2 where you're starting to get some skin and some more lifelike features attached to them. Then the third one where it's mostly Vosloo in the role with some CGI added on top of them. And then finally just Imhotep as the actor.
And this was still like kind of the Wild West for special effects. And I was listening to the actor Vosloo discuss the difficulty, because it's like, this is all pretty new. I'd have to be going in there and learning, like I was allowed to physically move some, like in some directions. They did need me to stand certain places a lot of times, which was, he was worried about being constricted, but he said working with ILM was, a joy. And it's early CG. And that's something that I'm always worried going back to these movies, like watching Power Rangers. That CG falls apart in the worst way. But this one, every time there's a CG creature on screen, I'm fine with it. And I'm not questioning it. I know some of it, like, I'm not saying it looks 100% believable all the time, but it's just right and it's honest, and there's a lot of love in it, which I was surprised and at how much of the CG creatures I thought really worked.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser said that when he's fighting the mummies at the end of the film, there's no one there. There's not even stand-ins. So he strictly choreographed this fight to hit certain moves and be in certain places. And he was very militant that it looked good and that he was correct in his punches and kicks and all that. And then they CGI'd everything in based off his movements.
It's the Peter Jackson way of doing a lot of orc fights.
Yes.
Yep.
We have Kevin J. O'Connor as probably my favorite character in the entire film, Beni.
Yes.
I have never seen another movie that this guy has been in.
You're
until
wrong.
I saw Van Helsing on the list.
And there's another one.
Which one?
There Will Be Blood.
He's in that?
He's Daniel Plainview's brother. I'm sorry, fake brother. I'm sorry, Daniel.
Oh my God, that is him.
I'll just leave. I'll just disappear, Daniel. And then he fucking kills him.
Yeah,
that's Beni.
This is where I learned of Deep Rising, because on his filmography I saw that, and I had read the name somewhere on like the wiki for Summers, and I was like, I got it confused with Deep Impact for like probably 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and then he got a lot of praise for a movie called Peggy Sue Got Married from like the 80s that I had never seen.
I haven't seen it. I know that's a beloved film.
Yeah, so that was like every time I Googled him, movie came up.
I love Beni.
Beni's great. He has my favorite movie moment in this entire movie when he's like trying to like say, trying to pray different idols to save his ass.
And when he speaks this I think it's Jewish.
Yeah, it's Hebrew.
Yeah, that's when he gets spared. But yeah, he's got them all. He's got all the religions ready to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he comes well prepared.
He is just a perfect little fucker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
little
good
fucker
moments.
is a good way to describe him in this.
And yeah, when we were talking through some of the plot, there's some really good moments with him.
And then we had, I'm just going to round it off with Oded Fair.
Yeah.
As Ardith Bay, who is one of the most badass characters in this entire franchise.
Originally, they were going to have the characters of the Magi be like completely tattooed. And they saw him and they're like, he's too pretty.
He's too good looking.
We can't.
I know him from this movie, but I also know him from multiple Resident Evil movies. I know he's in Extinction, Apocalypse, and Retribution at least.
He plays Carlos from Resident Evil 3.
Yeah. He's in The Mummy Returns, and he was also the gigolo for Deuce Bigalow, male gigolo, who owns the fish tank that Rob Schneider's character destroys, and he has to do sex work to repair it.
I can't imagine that movie has aged well.
I don't think it has, but I haven't seen
Rob
it in a long
Schneider
time.
has not.
No, that man just needs to stop talking.
Also, just want to call out Patricia Velasquez as Inox in the Moon.
Yep.
She gets a much bigger role in Mummy Returns. For a 11-year-old boy, her outfit meant a lot to me.
Yes, it did.
I was watching a YouTube video where an Egyptologist, like a historian of Egypt, watched this movie and they were critiquing stuff. And she's like, this dress is actually accurate. This is something that was like, could have been worn by someone in her position back in the day. And I'm still trying to invent time travel.
Summers did a lot of research into like ancient Egypt and the language, and he partnered with some people at UCLA to make sure that the Egyptian spoke by Imhotep and Anaxinamun was correct.
Even the cursing.
Yep. Yeah, she was. That was a formative role for young Tyler.
And also want to mention Jonathan Hyde. He is the Egyptologist that is assisting the three Americans.
Who wears the fez.
I'm just a big fan of his. He is just an actor. He's in Jumanji. He's in Titanic, Richie Rich,
He plays two people in Jumanji.
Yeah.
He plays the dad and the safari hunter.
Yeah.
Which, when did you figure that out? Because it took me way too long.
Not the first 10 years I watched it.
Cast is really stacked. We have the Americans. I didn't write down the Americans.
The Americans are fine.
They're pleasant to watch on screen. The one with the glasses, I forget his name. I should probably look it up.
They are bowling pins lined up to be knocked down.
Yep. Very good cannon fodder for Imhotep to work this middle meat of the movie. Development goes back a long time for this movie.
Yeah.
So in the late 80s, producers James Jacks and Sean Daniel decided to update the 1932 horror film The Mummy for the modern era. Universal gave them the go-ahead, but they kept the budget around $10 million. Jacks, one of the producers, remembers the studio essentially wanted a low-budget horror franchise, and I think this was kind of coming off the tails of George A. Romero's low-budget success with zombie films, because in 87, George A. Romero wrote a film treatment that he was attached to direct for this, which I did not know until yesterday.
He almost did a lot of things.
Yeah, he's going to bounce in and out of this production schedule for the next 10 or so years.
You know, that's studios like horror films. You can make them for cheap, and they often will make that money back plus a little bit. They're generally not going to be like massive successes, but they're safe.
Yeah.
So I understand wanting to make it as a smaller horror film.
Screenwriter Abby Bernstein recalled that Universal wanted an unstoppable mummy akin to like the Terminator to be in this movie. Bernstein's story took place in the present, and a lot of the early treatments for this take place in the modern era. The period piece was not really an idea that was kicked around all that much until Summers gets around.
Until Summers started smoking weed and watching Indiana Jones one night.
Yeah, essentially.
Like, wait a sec.
There's something here.
I think I got it.
Bernstein's story took place in the present, and originally it was supposed to be scientists inadvertently bringing a mummy to life who wanted to use an ancient device to destroy all life on Earth.
You see, they're already getting too fancy.
Yeah, there are, and you got $10 million.
You don't need that. How about they're scientists that like they find the mummy and someone reads something on the sarcophagus?
Yep. And then the whole thing takes place in like 2 days.
That's all
in
you
the middle
need.
of the desert.
Yeah.
Think with the budget.
Yep.
What can we do?
Yeah.
Next, Jackson Daniels recruited horror filmmaker Clive Barker.
I know that name.
To direct after his success with Hellraiser in 1987. Barker did a treatment in 1990, and in 1991 did another screenplay. So he was kicking it around for like 2 years, but his story was way more dark and violent, with the story revolving around an art museum that rebuilds an entire Egyptian tomb in the Beverly Hills. Which we're getting there a little bit. I remember the video game. It takes place in like a museum if you play as Imhotep.
Okay.
And that, I wonder if was like just a little callback, or maybe just a good set piece.
Or maybe just the fucking the video game releases for movies.
Yeah.
That were like more suggestions.
Jax, one of the producers, recalls that Barker's take was dark, sexual, and filled with mysticism, and that it would have been a great low-budget movie. The concept was too weird for the studio, however, and the vision that he had for The Mummy was essentially a jumping-off point. So they took some of what he had created and ran with it, but not a lot makes it to the 1999 film that we know. Then a man named Alan Ormsby, who was unaware of previous screenplays or attempts to launch this film, was brought in. He pitched a more straightforward update to the 1932 film, again focusing on the Mummy as like a Terminator, relentless monster.
That's kind of what the original one is too. Something that it's gonna get you. It's like the original Michael Myers almost.
Yeah, it's like an unstoppable force, and they do kind of keep that with like he's the destroyer of worlds curse that. So
I'd rather fight a Terminator than Imhotep any day.
100%.
Yeah,
Scarabs scare me.
Well, and he has the power of a god. Like Terminator's just a monster machine.
With this. With this iteration of the film, Joe Dante was attached as a director, and they wanted Daniel Day-Lewis to play a brooding mummy.
Well, I want Daniel Day-Lewis to clean my house, but I don't know if he's going to do it.
Yeah, and this is like the late 80s, early 90s. This is like 91, 92 at this point. So Daniel Day-Lewis was like a hot commodity too, so I could see why they wanted him. This version's draft was later rewritten by John Sayles.
So you're going to say John Cena. Like, wait a second.
You never expected. It was set in contemporary times and focused on reincarnation with elements of a love story. It came close to being made. This is the closest they had come so far. The element of the flesh-eating scarabs making it into this draft would survive to be in the final product.
I like that.
But Universal then balked at the high price point for the film. So they almost got it made in, what was this, 94, 93?
Thank God none of these happened.
Yep. And then our boy Romero comes back. He returns to the project 7 years later in 94.
After 10 different Resident Evil movies have collapsed.
Yeah. With a vision of zombie-style horror similar to Night of the Living Dead, but it relied heavily upon elements of tragic romance and ambivalence of identity. Romero completed a draft in October of 94, co-written with Ormsby and Sayles.
Sure.
Yeah, that works. It revolved around a female archaeologist named Helen Grover and her discovery of the tomb of Imhotep, an Egyptian general who lived in the times of Ramses II.
He's real.
Unfolding in a nameless American city in modern times, events were set into motion when Imhotep inadvertently awakes as a result of his body having been exposed to rays from an MRI scan in a high-tech forensic archaeology lab. Helen did find herself drawn into a tentative relationship with Imhotep, all while experiencing clairvoyant flashbacks to a previous life in the 19th dynasty of Egypt as a princess of Isis, which a lot of that DNA is carried through the two films with Brendan Fraser, because she is clairvoyant. You have the whole Anaxamun reincarnation.
That's mostly Mummy 2, but yes.
Imhotep would later resurrect the mummy of Karis, a loyal slave. Karis embarks on a vengeful rampage against the grave robbers of his tomb. Romero's script was considered too dark, too violent by Jax and the studio, who wanted a more accessible picture. Romero was unable to remove himself from another contract.
That must have fallen through.
Poor
man.
Yeah, he was in negotiations with MGM. And so they severed his development entirely, and a new script was commissioned. Garris then returns in 95, developing the script combined elements of the original 32 film, the 1942 film, The Mummy's Tomb.
Well, you're looking at the crew for this. There was 7 writers, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, and we're almost there. We're almost caught up.
Yeah.
This draft was a period piece, awash in Egyptian art-inspired Art Deco, but the vision was once again proved too expensive for the studio and was discarded for a modern setting. They keep wanting to do it in modern times.
And I think the issue is they're always trying to do art museums or Art Deco or high-tech labs. What this movie does well is that they go out to Morocco and they go in the fucking sand.
Yeah.
Yep. All those extras, I guarantee they were dirt cheap.
They were from the area, yeah.
Yep.
100%. Well, this film, again, too expensive. They're like, nah, we want to do it in modern times. And it comes close to entering production, but they just can't get past the price tag. Universal was sold to Seagram, and The Mummy had to go through another writing process. This is when Wes Craven enters the chat and he was offered the film, and he ended up just turning it down outright. So now they're back at square one, new script, new everything. The pair, Jax and the producers from the late 80s, are still determined to make a Mummy film. They hired Kevin Jari in 96 to write a new screenplay. According to Jax, the executives were now convinced the film should have a larger budget.
Do you know why it got a larger budget?
Because of Babe.
Because of a little pig.
Yep. After the box office failure of Babe, Pig in the City in 1998.
Oh, that's a fine little film.
Universal needed a hit film. At the time, Universal's management had changed in response to the box office failures that they had.
I still say "That'll do, pig" all the time from that film.
Yeah, I say "That'll do, donkey" because of Shrek. So Universal, they're taking on these losses at the end of the 90s, and they need a hit. They start relooking at franchises, and they threw out they threw a million darts at the wall, and The Mummy kept popping back in, and they're like, if we have a bigger budget, this could be really nice. This is when Summers comes in, and he had a window to pitch his idea. He showed up with an 18-page treatment. He did not want to remake the original film. He described the original as a horror film, while his adaptation would be more of a romantic adventure horror movie. He incorporated his own research, like I said, with the services of UCLA's archaeology professor to make the Egyptian language accurate. Snyder recalls that Summers' treatment was unique in that it took place in the 1920s. Rather than a contemporary setting, Universal liked the treatment so much that they approved the concept and increased the budget. Summers would then spend a year working on his screenplay. So now we are finally 2 years out from this movie actually being made.
It's very, I think, a wise decision to set it in the 1920s, 1930s. This film is in the style of Errol Flynn, who was popular back in that actual time period. But it's got the DNA of Indiana Jones. It's got the DNA of Errol Flynn, of the swashbuckling adventure, which is a genre that is elusive. It's rarer than people think. You think of, Pirates of the Caribbean. You think of Cutthroat Island, like movies where someone's swinging on something, sword fighting. Princess Bride has elements, and it's a genre that's largely lost right now, which is such a shame, because having a beautiful, strong female character and a dashing, sexy guy character. Just put the two sexiest people up there, have them swing on some ropes, say some sexy one-liners at each other. And
you're printing money.
And then you have a couple of sidekicks that are like drinking and doing silly stuff. That's just, take my money.
That sounds like a great movie.
I think it's just very tight. The script is so good. Do you know some of the actors that almost played Rick O'Connell that weren't Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, Jax, the producer, offered the role of Rick O'Connell to Tom Cruise, who was later cast in the reboot film that we don't talk about.
I saw the reboot film.
With Russell Crowe. They finally got their modern
Russell
set.
Crowe is a bright spot in there.
Yeah, he is. That Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Ben Affleck were all actors that were either A, not interested, or they couldn't do it because of contracts with other movies. And that's when Brendan Fraser.
You're missing Leo. Leo was offered the role.
I did not see Leo.
Leo was offered the role after Titanic, and he's like, I want it. But he couldn't because he had a contract to make The Beach. And he wanted to get out of it, but he couldn't.
Well, The Beach is a fine movie, too.
The Beach wound up getting delayed, so if he had held off just a little bit longer, he would have actually had the opening to make it. Thank God he didn't.
Yeah, because Brendan Fraser is Rick O'Connell.
Plus, he was affordable. This is him coming off of George of the Jungle. And Brendan Fraser is a unique actor. You want him so badly to succeed in everything because you can just tell, like, from his interviews, he is the nicest, most genuine good dude.
Yep.
Like, he cares about you. He loves making movies. He's an emotional, sensitive guy. His life went rough for a while. He had a divorce, was ordered to make monthly alimony payments of $50,000 monthly for 10 years, plus monthly child support payments of $25,000.
Yeah, he hit a little bit of a financial crisis because after the Mummy franchise ended, and I think Crash and Journey to the Center of the Universe or whatever that movie was called.
Yep.
He did get blackballed from the industry.
Dudley Do Right did not go well. Plus, he, 2018, publicly said that he had been sexually assaulted by Philip Burke, the then president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. And initially, Burke declared it as total fabrication, but later on, he acknowledged that he said he groped him in jest, which is not a jest.
No.
But Fraser did say, like, he thinks some of those events caused him to further get blackballed and squeezed out of the industry. But Fraser, he has a charisma, and you like him.
Yep.
And there's some behind-the-scenes footage you can see of him getting interviewed about the movie, and he is just putting on that, like, his eyes are squinty, like, smoldery, like, yeah, I think it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty fun. Kind of tough guy. And it shouldn't work. Like, Chris Pratt does this all over Jurassic Park, and I fucking hate him for it.
Brendan Fraser can pull it off.
But Brendan Fraser, I'm like, fuck yeah. He, I don't know. It's such a towing the line. A character that is a little misogynistic, that is punch first, shoot first, ask questions later. It's not an easy, like, I don't think anyone could do it. I don't think Leo could have done this that well. Tom Cruise is too much of an asshole to pull off this kind of character. I think Brendan Fraser, it's just a perfect storm.
Yeah, he is an ace in the hole here. They said that Fraser understood that his character doesn't take himself too seriously. Otherwise, the audience won't be able to go on this journey with him. Because if you can't relate or you can't admire Rick O'Connell, the movie doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
You really got to buy into Rick O'Connell. And Brendan Fraser hits it out of the park with this role.
So many good moments.
Principal photography began May 4th, 1998 and lasted 17 weeks. The crew was unable to shoot in Egypt due to unstable political conditions.
Didn't do much better in Morocco.
No. The crew was unable to shoot in Egypt due to unstable political conditions, so filming began in Marrakesh, Morocco.
Yep.
It had the extra advantage of being much less modern than Cairo, so dressing it up like the 1920s was a lot easier and affordable.
Yeah.
Despite the big budget, they were still, studios do this. You got to cut costs anywhere they can. The production set up 2 weeks before filming, taking down telephone wires and cables and shipping in period piece cars and camels to Morocco, which the logistics side of big blockbuster movies like that, people forget. Like, I remember when I was in film school, I met a guy whose job it was to move the cars for Public Enemy.
Yeah.
And which was filmed in my hometown, just mind you.
And probably spent all day, every day, just moving cars because it would require that much work.
Yep. And me and him, we were on the set for Public Enemy. Like, I was in the audience part of the set, but he was just there kind of helping with security at the same time. And I was about to go to film school, so we were just chit-chatting, chopping it up. And he would show me some of his tools, and his job was to move the cars, set them up. And then he had this, like, paint, but it wasn't real paint. I forget. It was like a mixture of, like, dirt and stuff that was safe for the paint of the cars. And his job was to move the cars, figure out where they're filming, and try to figure out what debris and dust would look like for each era. So if it took place in Arizona, he had a different color. And it's all the logistical side of things that you don't see.
That they add things, but it's like a good bass player.
Yeah.
You don't notice them until they're gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
After they were done in Morocco, they moved to the Sahara Desert, which was really tough because sandstorms were frequent. The team actually, to avoid dehydration, they had a special brew that they made, like an electrolyte brew that the crew had to drink every 2 hours. Sandstorms were inconveniences, like daily. Wildlife was a major problem, with many crew members having to be airlifted for medical care after being either bitten or stung by some sort of
venomous snakes and scorpions.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
In fact, Fraser nearly dies in the production of this movie.
Yeah. Not from the wildlife.
No, there's a hanging scene where he actually gets hung and he goes unconscious and he had to be resuscitated. He talks about it very lightheartedly, I think, on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about things in jest after the fact.
The score, like we said, was composed by Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah, Jerry Goldsmith, he has a fucking track record.
Yeah, he does.
Total Recall, Gremlins, First Blood, Poltergeist, Star Trek The Motion Picture, Alien, The Omen, Chinatown, Patton, Planet of the Apes, Mulan.
Star Trek films, Air Force One, Deep Rising.
Just He's a heavyweight. This was one of his final films too. It's a great score. It's got the proper like big haunting epicness that you'd expect for like a marching army. It's got little elements of like mystery and intrigue. Works every step of the way.
No, his score for Emotep is it's full of doom and dread, and I really enjoy it. One thing Summer said was when he's looking back at like Frankenstein, I cared about Frankenstein too much. Dracula was kind of sexy. When he was a kid, the Mummy scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It was the scariest one of the three. So the score, I think, really adds to that. Not only the portrayal of the Mummy and the CGI, but the sound. It's just, like you said, everybody is hitting it out of the park.
Yep.
Test audiences reacted very poorly to the film's title, which conjured up negative impressions of old horror films because they didn't want to change the name from The Mummy. People didn't like it. But President of Marketing, Mark Schmunger, said, that's how I think you say it. He said, we're not changing it. We will redefine the myth with the film, which is big balls, and I enjoy it.
I don't know what else you'd call it. The Mummy's perfect. You call it Imhotep, I think it would do way worse.
Yeah, The Mummy, everybody knows what The Mummy is. And I think...
Rick O'Connell and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, there you go. Rick O'Connell and what is the name of the fucking place they go? I always forget.
And Beni's on the wrong side of the river.
Yeah. They were really worried about a little film called The Phantom Menace.
As anyone should be. That has Silk Song levels of anticipation.
Yeah, because, you got the test audience did not like the title of the movie. It got a little bit of praise from some of the people that saw it early.
Test audiences are full of shit. And
yeah.
they don't, they're there to complain. They know they're there to complain, so they're going to be nitpicking. I know they were complaining about it being too silly, too campy, and every single opinion that they had was wrong.
Yeah, because Universal needed a hit, and they bought into this one. They ended up taking out a Super Bowl halftime spot, like a commercial for the Mummy, which tracked really well. It cost them $1.6 million just for the ad space back in '99.
Paid off in dividends.
And then they moved the release date from May 21st to May 7th because they were really worried about the Phantom Menace.
Reasonable.
Yeah. The Mummy was released. It did well, but home video and VHS and DVD formats, it really kind of killed. It released on those in September 28th, 1999. Huge success, selling 7 million units in VH1 and 1 million on DVD, making it the year's best selling. Yeah, what did I say?
VH1.
Yeah.
The Behind the Music documentary was crazy for this one.
It was the year's best-selling live-action VHS and second best DVD, only behind The Matrix, which this...
99 was a stacked year for cinema.
It was.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that the VHS DVD sales is what leads to this film's cult status, because as it gets faded away into the ether of movies that have been made, kids like me, that my parents bought this movie. That's how I saw it. And I was able to rewatch it as many times as I wanted and as often as I wanted. And it kind of stuck in the zeitgeist for me and my friends growing up in elementary school in Beaver Dam. We would talk about the Mummy. We all wanted to be Rick O'Connell.
I've played so many stupid video games with stupid proper nouns for made up languages. And I'll never forget an Oxuna Moon. Like, I watching Arrested Development, I'm like, that's an Oxuna Moon. She's dating Jason Bateman.
Damn, that is her.
That's Marta. She's one of the Martas.
Yeah. Hermano. The Mummy was the number one film in the United States and Canada on its opening weekend, grossing $43 million, opening in 3,210 theaters. Its weekend take was the highest non-holiday May opening and the 9th biggest opening of all time. The film later fell to second place behind, guess it?
Star Wars.
The Phantom Menace. So they were correct. Everybody knew this film was coming, and they were all scared.
They got their money, though.
Yeah, because the Mummy grossed $155 million in the United States, $261 million internationally, and $418 million worldwide. Universal got their big budget action blockbuster.
I know, like the weekend it came out, they called Stephen Sommers and said, "We're going to need another one."
Yeah,
it was that quick. They realized, like, this is what we want. This is we're blank check. Fucking do another one.
And this is the movie that really made Brendan Fraser like
George
the leading man.
George of the Jungle was big. This was huge.
Yeah, this was his big moment.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert, because I included that on the Con Air. I like hearing what he has to say sometimes. He wrote a review, quote, "There is hardly a thing I can say in its favor, except that I was cheered by nearly every minute of it. I cannot argue that the script, the direction, the acting, or even the mummy, but I can say that I was not bored, and sometimes I was unreasonably pleased."
I fucking hate his review. This movie's perfect.
I know. I disagree with almost everything this man says. Because he shit on Con Air, but he said it was fun. I was like, I agree with you that it's fun.
He shit on Home Alone. This shows that he doesn't know how movies work.
Yeah. The Mummy opened to mixed review from critics, but was solid with regular people who just like a good-ass time. It had like an average rating of 5.9 out of 10 with other critics, but what do they know?
What the fuck do they know? Go outside, you nerds. Touch some grass.
Oh, wait.
When you have to write a movie review 5 times a week, you hate movies. You hate your life. I have no respect for most of them.
No. Now, with all that being said, we can get into the plot a little bit.
No, we can't. We got to mention 2 other people. The cinematographer.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Cinematographer, Adrian Biddle. This movie looks fantastic. I really admire all of the, like, anything that's shot outside. There's so many shots with just a massive amount of extras. There is elegant use of CG interwoven with live action, which is still very much like very new. And I think Biddle does a great job. They also shot movies like Aliens, The Princess Bride, Willow, Thelma and Louise, Judge Dredd, Event Horizon, The World Is Not Enough, Shanghai Nights, and V for Vendetta. A lot of beautiful movies. And edited by Bob Duxey. They have worked with Summers on Adventures of Huck Finn, Jungle Book, Deep Rising, Van Helsing, and G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra. They also edited Loopers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows, Star Wars Episode 8, a couple different Knives Out films, Space Jam 2.
What a gambit.
What a weird group.
It's a weird gauntlet of movies.
And I didn't write down production designers, but just shout out to all of them across the board. Everything does look phenomenal. The creature effects. I know we mentioned a lot of the CG creatures, but there are also when the priests are resurrected first. Those are all callbacks to the original Mummy because they are all just wrapped up zombie-looking paper ones, the first batch. And they even said, like, we had to cut out a lot of them getting blown up because people kind of liked them and felt bad for them because they weren't really threatening. They were just kind of stumbling around, and they're like, yeah, we couldn't have them just beat up on them too much, so we had to bring in the scarier soldier ones.
This film opens in 1290 BC in Thebes, Egypt, and we have the high priest Imhotep is having an affair with it's Seti, I think his name is, the pharaoh Seti's mistress and future bride, Anck-su-namun.
Yeah, ancient Egypt looks great. The opening sweeping shot where they're just like kind of establishing the pyramid and just that whole layout of the city and the daily life. Fantastic. There's a lot of small CG mixed in with live extras that for 1999, I was really taken aback. I didn't realize that a lot of these, the scope of some of these shots were ahead of their time. I didn't think a lot of this was happening until like Fellowship of the Ring. And the narration is done by Ardeth Bey, who's the character is actually not named in the movie until Mummy 2. We can just call him the Magi if we want to, but originally it was going to be Imhotep doing the narrating, but they realized it would be fucking stupid if he spoke English and narrated the opening.
Yeah, and Ardeth Bey is killing it.
He's so cool.
He's got such a sultry voice. Yeah, so we have Imhotep is having an affair with Anck-su-namun, and
I get it.
I would too. And he smudges her gold paint. So
who's touching my painted woman?
How dare you? Seti, he paints her gold so that no one can touch her, because then he'll figure it out. Is how I always like kind of thought it worked out.
I really like that Arnold Vosloo, he says, I am not playing this as a monster. I am playing this as a Romeo and Juliet tragic love story.
Yep.
Because that's 100% those characters. They had true love, forbidden love. She even says something to him like, you're not going to use my body as your temple anymore. Fuck yeah, woman.
Yeah.
Get it. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
So I get where they're coming from. Some of the dark magic curse stuff, maybe not as good. Maybe resurrecting the dead is bad.
Hey, he's going to do anything for his baby.
It's the purest love story. And that's the element where it's like, I understand the villain too.
Yep. So Seti realizes that somebody has touched her. And guess who's right behind him, ready to go? Imhotep, who pulls out Seti's own blade. And you think he's going to be the first one to strike, but no, Inoxinamun pulls a dagger out and stabs him in the back first. And then the pair kill the pharaoh.
Yep.
And Imhotep's like, yo, I'm going to ride or die here. Like, they're not taking you. And she's like, you're the only one that can resurrect me. You need to go. So then his priests take him and seal his body away in Hamunaptra.
He is given the rarest form of like cursed mummification. It's done to him live. And Vaslu was actually for 4 hours tied up for this scene. And then they put the scarabs on him. And they bury him alive. When they find him later, he has actually clawed a message into the sarcophagus.
Death is just the beginning.
It's funny when they find the sarcophagus later, like this is either someone incredibly important and like good or the worst motherfucker around.
Yeah. And it didn't make sense to me when I was a kid. I guess I just didn't really like follow the story as much, realizing that Imhotep and his priests did it themselves. His priests are the ones that do that to him. Because why would you make Imhotep so strong and have the ability to come back? Imhotep and his priests seal her corpse and travel to Hamunaptra, the city of the dead.
He is going to do the resurrection on her. But
that's right.
Then he is captured, and then they do it to him.
They steal her body.
I think you're wrong.
I am wrong, because his priests help her get her body to Hamunaptra, and then the Magi fuck him over.
And they 100% shouldn't bury him with this like curse power. Like, why?
Yeah,
just
that didn't
fucking
make any
cut
sense.
his dick off and throw him in a river.
Yeah, they give him bad burial.
Yeah.
He's alive for a long time. He's still decomposing 3,000 years later.
Still juicy. I think it's just such a effective, powerful opening. This is something you see in epic films, the prologue. To me, I can't help but compare this to Indiana Jones, Lord of the Rings, because it does have the same vernacular.
Yep. And then, so we're going to do a big time jump, because it's going to go to like 1923, where we're introduced to Rick O'Connell, who is serving with the French Foreign Legion, and they discover Hamunaptra. And they are in the middle of a giant battle. And who does he got by his side? None other than Beni.
The battle here, all real horses, all real actors, all real extras. The scale, massive.
Yeah, huge.
I love movies where you see the budget on screen and it's not digital. These battle scenes, just compare it to The Mummy 2. We're not going to do The Mummy 2, maybe later. But The Mummy 2, to me, is just so much more diminished because it lacks a lot of this. They fall back to relying on CG for some of the big stuff. And this, just seeing all of these actual like performers on set, it's always thrilling.
Yeah. Rick and his crew are decimated here, and they have to retreat, but Beni retreats way too fast and will seal himself.
Ditches him.
Yeah. Beni, hold that door. Don't you close that door. And then Beni locks him outside to die.
Just that little fucker that is every time he has a chance to do one thing to help another person, but it might jeopardize him. Nope. He only looks after Beni.
Yeah. So Rick is forced to take his fate. He's going to get gunned down here, but then the sand begins to twirl, and the reinforcements that are coming after him decide, fuck this. There's a curse here. We're out of here. Plus, everybody knows that Hamunaptra is the city of the dead, and you're not supposed to go there because most people don't come back.
Yeah. No one knows where it is.
This is where you're going to see the very famous CGI shot of the sand swirling around Rick, and he's like, oh, fuck, and he kind of gets out of there, and there's a face of Imhotep in the sand screaming. So Rick's going to wander off into the desert where Artis Bay and the Medjai watch him. Like, should we kill him?
The desert will kill him. The desert will take care of him.
And he's later apprehended. But before we meet him in prison, we are introduced to the other lead, Evelyn.
I am always just utterly smitten with Rachel Weisz. Her British accent, her adorable curiosity. She's always, the way she's excited about her Egypt stuff, it's very charming.
I'm a librarian. And I'm like, yeah, you are, girl.
When she's a little drunk.
Yep.
And when she's like validating her job, she's like, you have me here because I'm the one that can read and write ancient Egyptian, and I can read hieroglyphs. And she's just listing it all off. She is just so intoxicating when she's on screen. God bless Mummy 2 for giving her eyebrows back. Her eyebrows are offensive in this. They took her natural beauty, and I think that they were worried because she has some monster eyebrows. Let the monsters out.
Yeah.
We're ready for them.
Yeah, the old penciled-in eyebrows. I'm glad if that never makes a comeback.
If Daenerys Targaryen's big old caterpillars were just shaved down to little baby worms, I would be so upset.
Yeah.
Let the eyebrows out.
She is working as a librarian and an aspiring Egyptologist, and it's because her parents are big donators to the library and museum that she is currently working at, and she is filing away books, and she destroys the library accidentally.
Evelyn and Jonathan are the names of two real people. They are the children of a famous archaeologist who did discover the real Imhotep in this time period. They're originally going to be named after him, but they got rid of that little plot point. So when she says my father's a famous archaeologist,
he really is.
He really is. She is the system of a ladder on a bookshelf. This is dumb. Now, they wouldn't have a ladder that would lean on a bookshelf. They would have one of the slidey things.
They would see in high price bars.
Anything else. She is up on top of a ladder, and she's reaching back to put it in another spot. There is I hate ruining movies. There's like one frame where she's standing up and it like moves back and forth. And if you know that it's very much a dude in her outfit, you'll see it next time. It's very much a dude in her outfit. But the actual shot of the 10,000 books, something like that, on all the bookshelves, that's all one take.
Yeah, because it would have taken an entire day just to reset it. So they nailed it in one take.
Because the shot, it starts falling. The camera has to nail that like pan all the way around to get all the dominoes falling, and then come back to her entering the frame. And thank God, first try, flawless.
The pressure on a shot like that, I can't even imagine. But she is scolded for destroying the library and told that she is not good at her job, and the only reason she's here is because of her parents. So then she hears a spooky sound coming from further in the museum. And guess what? It's Imhotep. Is it? No, it's Jonathan.
It's the grossest desiccation of a corpse ever.
Yeah, Jonathan climbs into a sarcophagus with a mummy to scare her.
Oh, he's not too bad, old chap.
Yep.
I'm like, that's a very fragile old mummy, and you're just swinging its arms around. And she's kind of light on him too. They have a very good sibling relationship.
Yep. And Jonathan says, "Oh, I got you something." And he looks into the sarcophagus, and it's funny because he just like lifts the mummy's leg and he's like waving it around like, "Oh, here it is." What is it? It's just the key to Imhotep's sarcophagus in the Book of the Dead that he's found, but he doesn't know how to open it. And Evie,
he doesn't know it can be opened.
He doesn't even know what it is. He's like, "Please tell me I got something good."
Yeah.
And she's like reading the inscriptions on it, and you can tell she's just cooking. She's all in her bag. And then with just a little press in the right spots, this key opens up to reveal a map to Hamunaptra, the city of the dead, which is a huge discovery. And Jonathan is seeing dollar signs, and Evie is seeing fame and acclaim. She wants to be respected,
and she is not there yet. She's been like denied multiple times because she doesn't have enough experience in the field.
Yeah. So she takes it to the.
But where did Jonathan? Oh yeah, she takes it to her. The curator.
The director of the museum. I always called him,
who is secretly a member of the Magi.
Yep, and he burns the map.
And he goes, "Well, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fake and made up."
Anybody who goes there doesn't come back. So maybe it's for the best.
And she says, Jonathan, where the fuck did you get this thing? He's like, I found it.
Where do you find it?
Found it on a guy. Pickpocketed a guy in a bar.
Yeah. Classic, like, fucking 90s, like, shithead alcoholic brother who's just like, yes. I thought for sure he was going to be like, I want it in a card game.
Now, he could have been like an annoying character or someone that's like that comic sidekick that just is not fun to watch. He is, I'm always entertained by him. And one thing that I find a major pro for him is he always cheers for Evie when she's doing something like, get it, Evie, way to go, sis.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a good brother. You are the shithead brother, but you are like, at least you're very much cheering her on.
Yeah. Well, Evie and Jonathan are like, let's go find this place, but how do we need to know how to get there? And it just so happens that the guy that he might have pickpocketed in the bar to get this is a little guy named Rick O'Connell.
Named George of the Jungle.
Who is currently being held captive. And it's so funny because he's got like the long scraggly hair and, you know, the guards are like beating the shit out of him. But his teeth, pearly white.
Oh, yeah.
They got great dental hygiene in those prisons.
He knows what he's doing.
And Rick O'Connell is going to start to recognize Jonathan as they're like, have you been to Hamunaptra? And he's like, yeah, I've been there.
No big deal.
No big deal. And they're like, I want to go. And then he looks at Jonathan. Do I know you?
It's nice because then he's like, it's just Evie. And he's like, do you want to know? Come close.
Yeah, because he punches out Jonathan.
Come closer. And then
do you want to get to Hamunaptra?
He lays one on her and says, get me out of here.
So it's like, it's cool because it's like, that's his key that Jonathan stole, but he is their key to getting to Hamunaptra, and they have to bargain with super shithead, lovable little
warden.
bastard.
They just call him the warden.
Yeah, who is going to execute him.
think so.
Hold on, sorry.
I'm a very lonely man. I could use your company.
Yeah, he tries to...
I can't do that little thing he does. He's so perfectly scuzzy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of this guy.
He is going to use Rick as a bargaining chip and mainly just kill him because he's a sadistic warden, where Evie then negotiates a percentage of the haul that they take from Hamunaptra if he releases Rick O'Connell. She starts at like 10%. He starts at 50. He also propositions her for sex, which she says, hell no.
And then she switches it up and he goes like 30 and he goes 25. Damn it.
Yeah, because she says 30, he says 25, and she's like, oh, gotcha. Because he's not going to barter with her at all. She offers like 500 pounds at first, but it's when she says, this man is the key to Hamunaptra, his ears perk up, and he's like, you lie. I would never.
Meanwhile, Brendan Fraser is choking to death.
Yeah. Oh, his neck did not break.
How delightful. So the actual drop of Rick down, which is a violent real shot, that is a stunt performer doing that. But there is a close-up where Brendan Fraser is just barely off the ground. It's supposed to be like his toes are on the ground, so it's good close-up. The director has him pull it up a little higher, and he just goes unconscious. And then he said he woke up on the ground with his elbow in his ear and gravel in his mouth.
Yeah.
But
he had to be resuscitated. He did almost die.
That is a violent hanging.
Yeah, not fun. Because he was supposed to be wearing like a harness, and either the harness wasn't hooked up right or it slipped when they lifted him up a little higher. And so, yeah, he actually gets hung for a minute here. And I read that the take that they use of him being hung is the take that they used in the movie, and other sources say that they didn't use the take.
That's fine either way.
But still interesting nonetheless.
Oh, yeah.
So they free Rick O'Connell, and now, mind you, he has the scraggly hair, and he probably hasn't bathed in a while. The next time that Evie sees Rick O'Connell, he's got his traditional look. He's got his shit back.
She tries to say something like, I don't care about what he has to say. He's just a rough housing stupid man, and he comes in, she's like, oh, hi.
Yeah, she's immediately like, whew.
And meanwhile, every female and male in the theater are like, I get it. And everyone's like, these two should bone.
Yeah, totally on board with this.
Everyone's just like, we get it.
So now our ragtag group of adventurers is 3 deep. And,
well, no, 4 deep.
Well, yeah, because the warden has to come along. He's protecting
I'm looking after my investment.
Yeah, they don't think he's going to show up for the boat.
His voice is so good. How is this guy not starring in every Pixar film? I'm really upset.
They board the boat and they are on their way to I believe it's Thebes. It's somewhere in Egypt that they're going.
Yeah, we quickly discover there's another crew.
Yes, the Americans are also on their way to Hamunaptra. Immediately, it's like this movie was sponsored by DraftKings because they're like, you want to bet on who gets there first?
Yeah.
$500 American to whoever makes it to Hamunaptra first.
DraftKings. This is, these characters remind me of Dracula, the 3 different Americans, I think they're all Americans, that wind up trying to court Wilhelmina's friend, I forget her name. But the friendly rivalry, I guess it's just like a good sub-conflict. They're all like fine actors. None of them really stand out, but they're there to get killed.
Yeah, they are cannon fodder. And immediately they're playing cards, and Jonathan sits right down at the table because he's like, ooh, what are we playing?
Because he's a lush, and he loves gambling.
And
that's why I relate. I get you, Jonathan.
Yeah, he's a believable character.
Yeah.
How are you Americans so sure you're even going to make it to Hamunaptra? Well, we got ourselves a guy that's already been there.
Well, so do... Maybe he like punches him.
Beni is the guy, but then Jonathan's like, well, that's interesting because we also... And Rick O'Connell like hits him with the bag, and he's like, shut the fuck up.
Now, we got to call out Beni and Rick O'Connell's meeting again. It's a fairly friendly, like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And he just picks Beni up and throws him off the boat. And it is the funniest shit every fucking time. Yeah. It's out of nowhere. Because he just throws him off the boat.
He sees Beni, he hears a noise, and you can see Benny's fez is like perfectly silhouetted, and he's hiding from Rick. And Rick comes up and he goes, Beni, long time no see. I should kill you. And he's like, oh, Rick, you wouldn't do that. He's like, no. So you're the one leading the Americans to Hamunaptra.
Think about my children. You don't have any children. I might. Someday.
Yeah,
someday
right.
I might.
And Rick doesn't kill him. Like you said, tosses him overboard.
He picks him up and throws him off of a boat, which is so funny.
But then as one thing goes over the boat, more things come on the boat, because now the Magi, who do not want people to find Hamunaptra, are infiltrating the boat.
You know, you kind of feel bad for the Magi because they are trying to save the world and do the right thing here, and that one dude gets really burnt to death bad.
It's super campy and makes me laugh every time. So they are there for the key specifically is what they want. They want the key.
Without the key, they can't do it.
Yep, that's the one thing they need. They can get there, they'll die. So Evie has the key, and Hook Hand Man is going after Evie. And as a kid, I always thought they wanted Evie because she's going to become, as this series goes on, a major sticking point for Imhotep. But no, they just want the key.
She doesn't need to be. It muddies up the waters for Mummy 2. Yeah. She can just be Evie, and Rick can be Rick. And when they try and like add more meaning to characters in subsequent movies, I find it annoying. Evie's perfect. She doesn't need to be another reincarnated whatever the fuck.
And they set the groundwork for it too, because she will go on to say that she has Egypt in her blood because her mother was an Egyptian.
But that's one thing. Yeah. That's like saying I'm from America. It's like, oh, he's got George Washington's blood in him.
You never know.
Could be.
So the Magi attack, and Rick comes in dashing fashion and saves Evie. The pair do lose the key to the hook-handed man, who gets stabbed in the eye with a candle, shot at.
Oh, my poor guy.
Rick is shooting at another guy, and it was such a cool scene too, because he's like, they're on a standoff, and the hook-hand man has Evie like hostage situation, and Rick sees a candle flicker, and he looks to the way it flickered, and there's a window opening, which alerts him to the enemy that's coming in through the window, and he shoots him.
Good swashbuckling action.
Yep. And it proves that Rick knows a thing or two. This guy's formidable. Yeah. This guy's got some like battle prowess. He is not just your everyday like soldier.
There's a reason he's surviving.
Yep. So Rick saves Evie, and in doing so lights the entire boat on fire. So maybe he was thinking ahead. He saved Benny's life again.
And they scatter.
Yep.
It's convenient that one party winds up on one side and one party winds up on the other.
Yep, which we get my favorite line from the entire movie once they all reach shore.
Hey, O'Connell, looks like we got all the horses.
Hey, Beni, looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Oh.
I also love, backtracking just a second, when he throws Beni off.
Get injected in my veins.
It's
my second favorite fuck you to Beni in the movie.
When he throws Beni off the boat, you can hear him go, Rick! It makes me laugh every time. So they lose all their shit, but they have the key, and they have some tools that they saved, and they hit the town, and they're going to regroup. They got to get some camels.
And so they're getting the camels, and Jonathan doesn't want to pay. He's like, that's too much money. And then Rick's like, just pay them. He's like, we could have saved a lot of money if we just gave him your sister.
And then enter Evie.
And then she walks in wearing that like flowy, like black, like see-through Egyptian dress. And it's immediately the reverse of when Rick walks in looking all like suave. And then she walks in looking like this. And everyone in the theater's like, yeah, we're horny.
Yeah. This is working for all of us, right, guys?
Every single person in here, we're feeling this, right?
Yeah.
There's a dude who's just not into any sex, and he's like, I'm here. Like, I think I like this.
Yeah. You need to bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass mummy.
Oh, man. When he says it's still juicy, that's like everyone in the theater.
Yeah. So now they need to travel through the desert, and the entrance to Hamunaptra can only be seen on the rising of the sun. If you're looking in a certain direction, the mirage will reveal itself.
Some silly stuff.
That's a little silly, but this is the land of the dead, and it is forbidden.
There's magic.
So then
I looked at this up. There's a race, and there are camels versus horses.
Yes.
And I Googled it because even Carly, she's like,
can a camel run that fast?
Can a camel beat a horse? A camel's top speed is around 40 miles per hour. A horse's top speed is anywhere between 40 to 60. But this is camel territory. We are in the desert. They're more used to this terrain. And it's feasible. Now, camels are only sprinters. So luckily, this is a sprint. This is not an endurance. It's not like an 8-hour run. I think it's terrain dependent. Potentially the camels could win.
Yes, and the camels do win, and we are reminded of the bet again because we're Americans.
He takes Beni off of his horse, throws him underneath, he gets stomped by the camel. Yes.
Rick throws Beni to the ground as another fuck you, because fuck Beni every time you can see him.
Yeah, Beni gets what he deserves. A lot of, and she even calls Beni out later in the film. She's like, people that like behave the way you do, they always get what's coming for him. And that really fucks him up a little bit.
Yeah, it's the dynamic between Rick and Beni is so funny because there's a scene, a few scenes from now, where they're sitting at camp and Beni is sitting right next to Rick and they're talking to Jonathan and they're just like the Americans, they're like showing off their prizes they get. And when Evie walks up, he just looks at Beni, he's like, you're in her spot. And then Beni just goes, he's like, move. And Benny's like, okay. And then gets up immediately and walks away.
Yeah.
So they race to Hamunaptra and they make it. And everybody is super jazzed. The $500 should go to Evie because she did make it to Hamunaptra first.
Yes.
And once we're here, the Americans have way more resources than our ragtag group.
They lost all of their stuff. He even had to have he stole some of the tools from the Americans for her to have.
Yep. And they immediately split up and start looking for treasure. The Americans also have like a bunch of diggers.
Locals.
Yeah, locals that I don't know if they're even paid. Are they slaves? Or are they paid dirt cheap?
It's the 20s in Egypt. I don't know. They are not treated well.
No,
they're
not
treated
at all.
as 7th class citizens by them.
Yeah.
This is going to kill someone. Make them do it.
Oh, of course. That's why we have them.
They get into a little bit of a digging contest. They both find a room that they want. Guns get drawn really quick, but she sees sand falling down in a crack, and she's like, it's fine. Let's go. We're going to go. And then they go underneath. She's like, it's directly above us. We can just knock it down. We'll get in quicker than they do.
Yeah, directly under the statue of Anubis, who is the god of death, I believe, if I remember correctly. Anubis is he's like the one god most people know. I think he's the god of death. He's got the dog head. He looks really badass.
So there's a moment though where they start looking into digging and then they go back to the camp and then they have their night where she gets drunk and it's nighttime, but they're warned by the Magi beforehand, like, leave tomorrow or you'll die.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of a battle, a little skirmish here.
But no, okay, so he warns them, leave tomorrow or you will die. Then they have a night where she gets drunk, and then it's like the next day, and then it's like night again. The time gets a little weird.
It does. It is a little confusing.
I skipped the whole battle, because right when they show up, is there a battle right away, or is it?
No, it's when they release Emotep, because then Artist is like, now I have to go figure out how to kill this thing.
No, but they're warned beforehand, too.
Yeah, the battle takes place on the second night.
Okay.
No, the first night.
Yeah.
Warns them,
right
and
when
then when the locusts come, then the Magi come back the second night. But the first night, Evie has another funny line that's very cute. She says, I bet you're wondering what a city like me is doing in a girl like this.
Yeah.
And then Rick's just like, yeah, something like that. And this is where we get a little background on Evie. Her father was British, and he loved Egypt so much, he married her mother, who was Egyptian. So Egypt is literally in her blood. She loves this so much. It's like...
And the Book of the Dead has been the one thing she's wanted to find her entire life.
Yeah, it's very sought after because a lot of people believe it doesn't even exist.
They're underneath that digging location, and Rick and Evie are just having a little tete-a-tete. They're just talking back and forth. And Jonathan is just golfing.
Yeah, because Evie's explaining the mummification process.
Yeah, they dig around in your nostrils all the way to your brain and scoop it out.
And then Rick's like, that sounds awful.
Don't sign me up for mummification. And then Jonathan just hits a rock, and then the whole thing falls through. Comedic timing is very good.
Yeah.
It's one of those little gags like shouldn't work, but it does. She immediately opens it up. Or she looks at the sarcophagus, looks into it.
Well, yeah, they read who it is, and it's like he who must not be named.
And I'm like, this is a crossover no one saw coming. Voldemort.
Yeah. Tom Riddle's in here.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's funny too, because when you see them like dusting off the sarcophagus, Rick is taking his hand and just like flinging the dust off, and she's got a little brush, and she's like brushing it away very gently. I just like that little detail on like the two different types of personality there.
Yep.
And Rick is actually the one who notices like, it looks like there's a keyhole here. And she realizes that the key that Jonathan gave her back in Thebes is, in fact, what they need. And at the same time, the Americans have found a chest. And on night one, they're about to open this, like, it's not a sarcophagus. It's like a
chest.
It's a chest holding a chest. It's like a big... It's booby-trapped, though, and they make the diggers do it, and it melts them.
Yeah.
So then they come back night two to open their chest, and... They have Fez-wearing dude, I forget his name, the scholar, who can read.
They don't have a name. He's just the Egyptologist.
He reads the box that they're about to open, and it is warning them that whoever opens this chest will be hunted down and killed. And it's a curse. And all of the diggers run out. Because half of them were just melted the night before. The other half are like, fuck that. I'm out of here. And even Beni is like, it's the curse.
Beni leaves.
Yeah, he runs.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the curse. And he doesn't want no part of that.
They find the Book of the Dead, and then they also find underneath 5 canopic jars. The video I watched with the Egyptologist saying about what's accurate, she's like, wrong, there's only 4 canopic jars. For those keeping score at home. But yeah, the Americans are like, yeah, this is the treasure that we want. I'm like,
you're idiots.
Those are just little jar. Like they're probably worth something on Antique fucking Roadshow, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like an organ in a jar. There's better gold down here for sure.
Because the big haul from this box is the Book of the Dead that the Egyptologist finds, and the Americans are like, "Where's the fucking treasure?" And he's like, "You guys don't know. This is the fucking treasure."
All right. I think I know the answer to this, Tyler.
Yes.
The Necronomicon or the Book of the Dead from the Mummy?
Necronomicon.
But it's like, they're both
close.
up there with like 2 legendary cool books.
My laptop is named the Necronomicon. It's Tyler's Necronomicon.
Nice. I have the Library of Alexandria for my hard drive.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, so the Americans find their soul jars, their body jars. I forget what Imhotep calls them.
It's really they keep the organs after they rip them out.
Yeah, and he needs those. Otherwise, he's going to steal yours.
She makes the mistake of the Book of the Dead has been found. She's aware of it. And the guy just falls asleep outside with it sitting on his chest.
Well, he believes that nobody else is going to know what this is. I firmly believe that because he's like trying to open it and no one's paying attention to him.
Yeah.
Imhotep is they got they've already unsarcophagized him.
He's just a juicy mummy.
He's a juicy mummy.
She says something like, he must have been a very naughty boy.
Yeah, he's still decomposing.
Yeah.
And this is night 2, and she sees the Egyptologist trying to like force his way into the book like I'm a D&D character that made a bad strength check, and it's just not working for him.
His intelligence check's failing, all of it's failing.
And she could have just walked away, but she turns to him and says, I believe you need a key to open that book. Which, why would you say that? Why would you let him in? You have insider knowledge. He clearly doesn't know what's going on.
Because fuck him.
And so she's going to swipe the book. She swipes it, opens it, and reads from the book. And immediately the Egyptologist wakes up.
Immediately in the background,
big scream. And the Egyptologist wakes up and is like, you must not read from the book.
He knows so quick. He's like,
we're fucked.
We're fucked. I'm going back in Jumanji. I'm going to be a butler for Richie Rich. My life is fucked now.
And a plague of locust promptly descends on our party while Imhotep wakes up.
Oh, wait. We forgot something important before we get to there. The warden.
Oh, yeah, the warden. I forgot about that.
He went off on his own little adventure, and he finds these little scarab beetles. As an 11-year-old child, there were things in this movie that horrified me. This one did. He's popping them off, and then the bug, like, he's putting him through, like, blue gold or something like that. And he's popping him out, and he goes, he's so happy. He's collecting one hits the ground, and it burrows immediately into his skin, and it crawls up. And it looks comical now. It doesn't hold up now. When I was a kid, the thought of the bug crawling up inside of his brain and the shot of that head first sprint
into the wall
is the most insane, like, visceral thing. Apparently the stuntman was on a tether and it was set up to where he could not hit the wall. I don't think it, to me, it's so believable, and it looks like the most violent way to go. Full sprint headfirst into a wall. That fucked me up as a kid.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to miss that. But yes, Imhotep is awake.
And he immediately is looking for his soul jars because he needs to put himself back together. And he also needs the Book of the Dead because he wants to bring back a Noxunamun. So he's on a mission. Everybody's freaking out in the camp now. They're running away from the locusts outside. Now there's scarabs chasing them everywhere. And
I will say the scarabs, like the little waves of them, a plague tale.
Yeah, exactly.
100% reminded me of the plague tale, like just the like floor of rats. The scarabs are quick. The scarabs will eviscerate.
Yep. And Rick and Jonathan jump onto this pedestal to escape the path of the scarabs, and Evie does the same, but she ends up near a trap door that she's going to fall through. The Americans are all scattering. One of them has really bad eyesight, and he says this on the boat. And this is another part of the movie that fucked me up as a kid. They say this isn't a horror movie. There are definitely some horror elements to a large part of this movie.
This is one of the scariest things from my childhood.
Yes.
So his glasses fall, very Velma, jinkies.
Yep.
And Beni...
Of course it's Beni.
Beni steps on them and leaves him.
Doesn't grab him, doesn't take him with.
And Imhotep finds him, and he takes his eyes and his tongue. And Evie stumbles upon him, and he's like...
She's relieved at first.
But he's unable to speak without his tongue. He's kind of mumbling. And then when he turns around and you see the spots where his eyes were hollowed out inside, that was very intense for me as a child.
That was scary.
The thought of losing your eyes and your tongue... I had never considered that as an option for life. That was brand new to me. I'm like, what?
That can happen?
This is terrifying. And the effects, they're not, they're not going to be something you see today, but they are powerful and scary.
Yeah, the Imhotep looks really good for 1990s CG. I will say that.
Yeah, ILM went from the bone to the muscles to like the skin. Like it's interacting, but...
And he gets his eyes and his tongue first. That way he can speak, and now he can see where he's going, which is very important.
He runs into Evie, and he's like, Anoxunamun? I'm like, dude, you said you're wildly in love with this chick. You don't even know what she looks like?
Well, I feel like it's also like...
Don't mummy to this.
It's just too easy for them to draw that line. Because what if he
What
knows
does every
it's
black haired Egyptian woman look the same?
apparently to Imhotep they do.
He's racist.
He might be.
But
He's definitely racist. He calls the Hebrews slaves.
So when Rick stumbles in, he's like, "What, you playing hide and seek or something?"
We've been looking for you. We got to go.
He looks over at Imhotep, another one of the iconic moments of the movie. Imhotep screams at him, and he screams back and shoots him with a shotgun. I'm like, get this man a beer.
Yeah. And then they all run, and then Imhotep gets up right in front of the camera and does like a Scooby-Doo look around like, which way did they go?
It's so iconic when the monster screams at you and just Rick just looks back and just does the dumbest scream back at him. That's something Indiana Jones wouldn't do. Like, that's Rick O'Connell.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh really hard.
Every time. And it's a callback to a joke later in the movie, too.
And then they all take the fuck out of there and they're heading back to the city, but Beni is left alone. And he runs into Imhotep now that Imhotep has his eyes and his mouth ready to go. And he has several necklaces, all with different ideologies on them.
And he doesn't get through all of them. He says like 4 prayers.
He goes with like Christian, it's a cross first, and then he does an Islamic prayer.
Yeah.
And then there's a third one. I don't know what it was.
I think it was Eastern religion.
The subtitles I turned on because it tells you. It just said gibberish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe he was making that third one up, and it's like it sounds like a very racial, like Eastern Buddhist.
It sounded Chinese or something.
It looks like a Buddhist thing he's holding up, or something, maybe Hindu. I don't know. I'm not a authority on religion.
No.
But he gets to the Star of David, the Hebrew sign, and speaks in Hebrew, and Imhotep recognized this as the language of the slaves, and that he will have use for Beni. So then he recruits Beni.
If Beni is fluent in all of the languages he speaks, Beni does have intense value to anyone.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's fluent though. I think for some of them, he only knows the phrase that'll save his ass.
Maybe, we don't know.
Yeah. And so then the Magi show up, and they're like, "Great, you fucking just released the Destroyer of Worlds."
You read the book, didn't you?
Yeah. You were not supposed to read the book.
Also, fuck the Magi. Why are you letting people fuck around there? You're like, we'll give you a day. It's like, no,
get him out of there.
Shoot him, dude.
Yeah. Well, now they have to figure out how to kill him. And Rick says like 4 times, he's like, "I got him." And he's like, "No mortal weapons can kill this man."
I shot him with a shotgun.
Oh, you think that's going to do anything?
Yeah.
And so they all travel back to the city. Rick is like, "We're gone. We got to go."
And the poor American without the eyes and the tongue, they're like, "Yeah, he's not doing too good. He lost his fucking eyes and his tongue." They don't swear, but this character means horrible things to me.
Yes, because it's very sad.
Yeah, they're quickly told though, like, "Oh, this is just starting. We have to figure this out because he's coming. He needs." The other guy, the American's like, "I guess we're cursed now, huh?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you're cursed.
That's what the Egyptologist said it.
Yeah.
He read the curse. Beni was the only one with the foresight to get out of there.
Beni's like, "Fuck this shit."
And now the Americans are all like, "Well, we're just going to fucking leave. He can't chase us everywhere." Like, that's their mindset. And the Magi and everybody are like, "You have no idea what this guy can do."
And Evie is very gung-ho. She's like, "We're going to do this. We have to stop him." And Rick's like, "No.
We're going home." And we have a very cute scene of like him packing her bag and her unpacking it as they argue.
Yeah.
And she feels
They're already a
responsible.
married couple.
Oh, yeah. They're 10 years in at this point.
Yeah.
They are, she feels responsible, and Rick is like, "Listen, I had a job to get you to the City of the Dead and back. I got you to Hamunaptra, and I brought you back. Contract over. We're fucking leaving."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Nah, we ain't." And so he's like, "Fine, I'm going to leave." "Fine, you go." "I will." "Fine. And then he slams the door and walks out.
Yeah.
And Imhotep is going to go on a generational run of carnage here for some poor Americans that stole some jars.
Here comes the plagues.
Yep. We have the blood eclipse is going to happen here, but not before we meet Winston?
Winston? I was a pilot in the French Foreign Legion. I wish I had died with the rest of them.
Went out in a blaze of glory.
He walks straight through a fountain.
Oh, someone
spilled a drink. And then he turns around and walks right back through it. That's so funny.
And he runs into Rick, who is like now realizing that he can't leave Evie. He's not going to.
Yeah.
And he's like now trying to muster up I wouldn't say the courage, but the resolve to be like, I have to fucking go back to Hamunaptra.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to.
Yep.
But he's going to have to. And the Medjai is going to show up and be like, we have a plague. And now all the plagues are going to happen. And then he's going to destroy the world.
Yeah.
All the while, Imhotep is gathering followers. And he is hunting down the Americans to get his organs back.
First, he meets up with the blind, tongueless fellow. And Beni's there. And he's like, you are meeting a prince. And it's like, he's like, it's nice to meet you. And he's like, he wants to thank you for your tongue and your eyes. But
Beni is so sinister here.
He needs the rest. And so he finishes the American. We get a scream. And Rick finds Beni up in the room. And in an all-time great moment of the movie, Beni starts running away. Rick grabs the nearest chair and just fucking yeets it at him so hard.
Doesn't he say something like, hey, what's up, Beni? Spring cleaning?
Just the nearest thing next to him, he finds a chair, and it's the hardest whip of a chair I've ever seen. I put it in the top 10 moments of cinema is Rick O'Connell throwing a fucking chair at Beni. It's so funny every time.
Yeah, he finds Imhotep, and they surmise that Imhotep is regenerating himself to resurrect a Noxinamun, and he is going to use Evie as the catalyst to do that.
Yep.
Which further makes Rick believe, now I really got to do something, because you know why? He cares about Evie.
Just want to save her, that's all.
She saved his life. He's got to save hers now. A horse apiece.
I love it when she asks him, like, why did you kiss me? I don't know, I was about to die. It seemed like a good idea at the time. And she did not like that answer. And he goes, what? And I'm with him. I'm like, I don't know what he said wrong there.
Yeah, what did you expect?
Yeah.
He was going to die.
I love you? Like, no, I was about to die. Just, you're a pretty lady. I thought I'd give you a kiss.
Yep. And now we quickly see Imhotep go through the multiple stages of CGI here. Pretty fast.
The 5 stages of CGI.
Yeah. He starts to look more human, but he still looks really gross. There's that where he's like almost fully complete and the eclipse is going on and that scarab like runs up and he like runs in his mouth and he just eats it. I was like, that's gross.
The zombie slaves are just chanting Imhotep. They're chasing Jonathan. And he's like, he just turns around and just starts going, Imhotep. And they go with him. Like, that's stupid. That's so funny, though.
And then Rick's bright idea is like, all right, we're going to kill this guy. We're going to kill Imhotep. So, first order of business, he wants Evie. We're going to lock Evie in the room. And she's like, no, hell no, I'm going with you. And he's like, nope. And he like literally lifts her up, carries her into the back bedroom, tosses her on the bed, closes the double doors, locks it.
She doesn't leave.
And gives the key to one of the Americans, the blonde-headed one, I believe it was. And she doesn't leave. Got it? Yeah, got it. And the American's scared too. He doesn't want to go after Imhotep. He knows he's being hunted down. Yeah. His blind, tongueless buddy's already dead. And Imhotep, sure shit, shows up, sucks his soul out of that his body.
Yep.
Then turns into sand and goes through the keyhole.
Very cool.
To get to Evie. Just in time for Rick to show up and save the day with a cat.
Love it.
Yeah.
The cat just screaming.
That's a role for Martin if I've ever seen one.
He's ready. He's been training his whole life. And they say something along the lines of cats are guardians of the dead. Until he is fully recombobulated himself, he will fear the cat. I'm like, why are we not going to the local cat shelter and buying them? Just fucking can we get 20 cats to go?
Yeah.
Do you have any kittens? Like, I have a feeling even a kitten would scare them.
I will trade you the shotgun for a tabby cat.
I would in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And they should each have a cat.
Yeah, get a little cat carrier, strap it to your chest, and anytime you run into them, just lift the lid.
Oh, I think it's a missed opportunity. What they do is they still have the Book of the Dead. They're about to lose it.
Yes.
And they're about to lose Evie, but they should have given Evie 10 cats. Yeah. And just let her have cats everywhere.
That would have been. She probably would have loved that.
I would have.
Yeah, just laying on a bed with 10 cats, and then a mummy shows up to steal you and resurrect you into an old
and then Pickles is like,
princess.
Sorry, dude.
You're not today.
Got
not
it
on my
first.
watch.
Yeah. There's a huge whole fight scene in the city. There's a chase scene. They wind up in a car. They're going away. All the Americans are destroyed. Imhotep gets full power, and he gets Evie because they get cornered, and they're like, if you give me Evie, I'll let you guys go. So Evie says, essentially, kind of the same thing. You're the only one that can save me. It's a little bit of like a mirror of what happened with Imhotep before. So she agrees to go with him. And that's separating our party. So then it's we have Rick, we have Jonathan, we have the Magi, Ardits, and then the pilot for the French Foreign Legion.
Winston, at your service.
What's the mission? Fly into certain death and save the damsel in distress. Aye, aye.
He is so ready for this.
He's so drunk.
They are going to fly to Hamunaptra this time because
faster.
That's way faster, and for convenience of the plot, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Plus, you get a really cool scene where Winston is flying them, and Imhotep conjures a gigantic fucking sandstorm to kill them.
Very fun, very cool digital effect, iconic. I think this is one of the posters that you'll see is that like sandstorm chasing with the face in it, ready to swallow the plane up, and Evie's watching from a distance. And right when the plane gets swallowed up, she grabs Imhotep, she turns him around and lays a big
juicy one on him.
And he's like, yo. Was I a sandstorm or something? I forget. What are we doing?
Let's say this.
Librarian.
Nonetheless, they crash.
And Winston just fucking dies hard.
Hey, that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted to go down in a blaze of glory.
They make sure to show his dead body with a big dumb smile on his face, which I do appreciate.
Yeah. Way to go, Winston. You're a real one.
He's got the dumbest smile for a dead body.
And Imhotep has like a bunch of like servant follower people that the Magi is going to have to fight while Rick and Jonathan have to locate Evie. And they also have to get the book.
They have to get the Book of the Dead and Evie.
Yeah. And Ardith is going to be fighting a lot of servants here. And he's like fighting off the forces while Rick and John go find the ritual chamber and the book. That's their only mission at this point.
Yep. No real big plan. They have a lot of dynamite.
John and Rick will eventually reach the chamber, and we have the big climactic fight scene that I talked about earlier with Rick, Brendan Fraser fighting nothing and CGI'd and mummies and shit.
It starts off a little slower. They start off with just the priest mummies at first, which are they blow a lot of them up, and they're a little funner to fight. And then they start bringing in some of the more serious mummies,
the big boys,
the
brutes. You went through the grunts, you got the brutes now.
And yeah, he's doing a lot of fun. He finds a big sword, and he's doing a lot of fun swinging and killing. And there's even some comedic bits where he hits one like a baseball, smacks it.
What is the guy you said earlier that this was inspired by from like the 1920s?
Errol Flynn.
Errol Flynn. This is a very Errol Flynn type of like series of events and fighting.
Yeah.
A lot of set pieces and jumping and
a lot of fun
punching.
set pieces.
Jonathan just barely surviving the entire time and looking surprised while doing it has always been a treat for me.
Always good. Imhotep does manage to use the book to summon the soldiers. The soldiers are going to listen to Imhotep. They'll listen to whoever does this certain command from the book. So these fuckers, they come in with their long shields, their great shields. And Rick does his scream at them that he did before, and they scream back.
Yeah.
And it's the callback. You know, I love that moment. These guys do mean very serious business.
Yeah, and Imhotep is throwing like all of his little spells at him at this point. Like he's tried to conjure a sandstorm. He's done plagues. He has servants. He's got brutes. He's got the soldiers now, the scarabs, and somehow Rick is still fucking alive.
Rick's the guy.
He's the guy.
Jonathan manages to get the book away.
Yep. About the same time that Rick is fighting Imhotep after he saves Evie, but he can't beat Imhotep yet because Imhotep is immortal.
Yes.
And this is fun because in the second film, it's the other way around, where Evie has to read from the book to make Imhotep mortal. And in the sequel, John has to read from a book, but the son is reading from the book and calling out the hieroglyphs, and John is like fighting, and he's like, "Oh, I know that one." And it's just funny the way this works because he remembers the lines from this movie to the next.
It's like poetry; it rhymes.
Yeah. Evie then makes Imhotep mortal with the Book of the Dead, and
she helps Jonathan because Jonathan's not able to read it all, and he's like, it's like a bird.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And she calls it out for him, and then what he is able to do is call out the spell that stops the soldiers from attacking Rick. And then she's able to finish the spell that makes him mortal.
And then Rick's going to impale him.
And it happens quick. Anck-su-namun is there as well. So her mummified corpse has been arisen. She is not whole yet. She needs to, I think, absorb probably
Evie entirely.
But she's old school mummy terror.
Yeah, but
that female mummy just screaming and running. She's straight out of a horror film, and that's really fun for Evie to have to fend that off as well. And at this point, we've also lost the Magi. He runs off. He's like, "Save yourselves." And you think he's dead for sure? Of course not. He's too handsome.
He was supposed to die at this point. In the original draft of the script, he dies.
He's too handsome. They saw him and they're like...
That's exactly what it was. Summers said that he was too heroic to go out, and that's why he's in the sequel.
You can't get rid of him.
Yeah, he kills it. He's the Magi, dude.
Yeah.
You can't kill him. Imhotep does... When he gets killed, he decomposes into some goo and swears vengeance. He's like...
Death is not the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is mortal again. He is stabbed by Rick, and then he's disappearing.
Oh, no, Beni is in the treasure room because he finds all the treasure, and he's super stoked, and it's a lot of fucking treasure.
The problem is his greed is getting the best of him. He takes a number of sacks out to the camels, and he goes back for more. He sets a sack down on a lever, the lever.
The self-destruct button of Hamunaptra.
And the lever goes down, and this starts the place to collapse. And this is a situation where they all run out, and Jonathan and Evie and Rick get out, and Beni is right behind him, and Rick's like, "Come on, Beni, quick. He's going to help him. At this point, Rick will beat the shit out of Beni.
But he's not going to kill him.
He will not let him die. He will throw him off a boat. He will take a chair, and he will throw it just so hard at him that it shatters.
He will push him off of a moving horse.
And throw him under a horse. But he won't let him die. Beni doesn't make it. And this is another quintessential, horrific moment. Trapped. Light goes out. Bugs.
Yeah. He's devoured by scarabs. Hamunaptra implodes on itself. So if Beni was lucky, he got crushed before he got eaten. But it doesn't appear that way.
Yeah.
And they find Ardith, who has survived. And they take the camels that Beni was loading up with gold. So they do leave Hamunaptra with some of Beni's loot, which is nice. So they do have a little bit to take home.
Jonathan is happy.
Yeah, that's all he wanted.
Yeah.
And they ride off.
And it is a beautiful end. Rick and Evie have a kiss.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It is a perfect film. To me, the tone is it's sometimes a tight wire act between comedy, adventure, fun, silly action, and I think all the performances wouldn't change anything about any of it. I really think, if you wanted to update some of the CG effects, you could, but they all work and they're all effective. I really have no issues with any of this film. It is a perfect movie, and it is so much fun.
Yeah. Definitely was on repeat in my house growing up. I watched it quite a bit. I do like the Scorpion King for what it's worth. I like the continuation. The one with Jet Li was meh.
I think if you were to watch the Scorpion King, you wouldn't feel so good about it anymore.
No, but the scene where Rick has his son and he's wearing the bracelet and he has to outrun the shadow.
You're talking about Mummy 2.
Oh, yeah, the Mummy 2.
Not the Scorpion King film.
No, not the Scorpion King film.
Because there's also 4 Scorpion King films.
No, I'm talking about the Mummy 2.
I posted some of the posters in the Discord. I don't think you saw them.
No, I didn't.
Ron Perlman stars in one of them.
Hell yeah. No, but in the Mummy 2, they have that really cool scene where he's like outrunning the shadow holding his kid. And that always was really cool.
I think if you were to watch the Mummy 2 again, I think I haven't seen it as well, but I can already just see the bad sequelitis and the fact that they just start reusing concepts. Like, I'm worried about it. And I hate how everyone becomes the chosen one. I don't want repeats of great things. I just don't think that it'll be watched at some point. And Mummy 3, I think, isn't as bad as people say it is. But
without Rachel Weisz, I'm out.
That's a very hard sell for me.
Yeah. A couple fun facts. We covered a few of them already. But in the scene where Beni is loading the loot on the camel, you can see him like pulling the reins of the camel. The camel will not budge.
Because the camels hate him.
For some reason, every camel on set hated Kevin J. O'Connor, who plays Beni. Camels just did not like him.
And, Daniel Plainview doesn't like him. Nobody likes Beni.
The effects team was told specifically no gore when it came to Imhotep and the mummies.
Yeah.
And so in their offices, when they were trying to figure out how to do it, they did tests for a goreness threshold.
What would push it?
Any blood or viscera.
Yeah.
And which is why they went with more juicy and like, I think they did good. It looks terrifying, but I love the idea that they had a gore threshold. And I just imagine it like a meter on a whiteboard that they were like, too much. Dial it back 5%.
This is rated PG-13. And I saw that dress.
It's a tough PG-13.
I saw that dress when I was 11 years old. And I'm like, this is a PG-13? What?
They used both lion and bear growls to make the scream for the mummies and Imhotep.
That's good.
Which I always like knowing what they use for screams and in growls. Like it was a crocodile for the T-Rex, because every now and again it's on trivia at Eagle Park when I go.
One of my favorites is the Balrog in Lord of the Rings. That is a cinder block being dragged down a hallway, recorded from the other end of the hallway.
That's awesome.
Yep.
A TIE fighter is a baby elephant with a car going over wet pavement.
That's cute.
Yeah.
The first part.
And then I did see it today. I looked up the scene because I did not believe it. But the last little fun fact, which is really funny to me, is during the filming of the scene with the scarabs crawling under his skin, Omid Jalili, the warden, chose not to wear underwear for some reason. As a result, his genitals kept poking out of his pants during takes as he was writhing in pain. The editor had to cut around the unintentional nudity as much as possible. However, if you watch the scene closely, you can still see some of the unintended nudity on screen for a few frames during one shot as he is screaming, "Help me," and grabbing at his pants.
You saw his testicle.
You do see genitalia for like 2 frames. And I was like, there's no way. And I rented it on Amazon Prime, and I was like, yep, there it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, you should check it out. It's hilarious.
I love this movie.
Yeah, it's great. It's just, I have such a rose-tinted glasses or like just a warm nostalgia for these, like you said, seeing the budget on screen and these old, big blockbuster movies. That when you see everything tangible on screen, like the CGI for Imhotep was necessary and I think done very well. But like you said, all the horses being real and real sets and practical effects. Like the running headfirst into that wall with a tether makes that look insane.
And what allows all of it to work are the well-written story and then the performances of Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, Arnold Vosloo, and all the supporting actors. All of it comes together and they're supported by the effects. They're supported by the great action. It's really just every step of the way everyone succeeded, and it's a perfect film.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at how I really don't have anything negative to say about it. I loved everything about it.
Yeah. And it's so interesting to see, like, Hollywood kicked this around for a decade trying to figure out how to make it. And luckily it was a success story because the right guy found it.
It wasn't the right movie until then. Should we rank this?
Yeah, let's do it.
So if you haven't listened before, what we're doing here is our Popcorn Dogs movie ranking, where we have discussed 65 films in this show. And this will be, we go right to the middle, and do you prefer The Mummy or that one? And then it either moves up or moves down, up or down the ranks to number 1 or down to 66. So that puts us right in the middle, appropriately, Con Air or The Mummy.
The Mummy.
The Mummy. And Sinners or The Mummy.
Sinners.
The Mummy.
Over Sinners?
The Mummy.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of this movie.
I love The Mummy, but Sinners was amazing.
The Mummy's as good as Indiana Jones.
That is true. I'll give you that. I will concede. I'll concede.
You don't have to.
No, I will. I like what you're putting down. I'll concede that one.
The Mummy's just so good. This Sinners is not a bad movie in any sense of the word. I love Sinners. Sinners is top 5 movies this year. Easy. Top 3. Okay. Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, or The Mummy?
The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Yeah. It's a good one.
No Country for Old Men or The Mummy? No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. Easy there.
Eyes Wide Shut or The Mummy?
The Mummy.
Eyes Wide Shut. But you conceded. I'll concede this one.
Okay, that's fair.
Hateful Eight or The Mummy? Hateful Eight.
The Mummy.
All right. 1, 2, 3, scissors. All right. So that puts The Mummy at number 6.
Damn.
The Mummy's so good.
It is.
It's perfect.
Almost top 5.
It's higher than any other Indiana Jones film. I'm very comfortable with that ranking.
Yeah, I like that.
Throwing a chair at Beni.
Yeah, if you have a friend named Beni, try it.
And to put him on the other side of a river and just yell at him and turn the wrong side of the river.
If I ever have a son, I'm going to name him Beni, just to throw chairs at him.
Beni Melly?
Beni Melly.
I'll throw a chair at him.
Beni, wrong side of the river Melly.
Tyler, do you want to announce what your vote is for the next episode as voted by Patreon members? You have to, actually. This is when you do it.
Yeah, this is when I do it. I have a bunch of different ones floating around in my brain.
Which one is it?
I was thinking time travel, because I like time travel a whole bunch, which could be fun. No. And then I was thinking John Cusack movies, which I thought would be fun. And then I was thinking my landlord and very good friend Bob gave me a very funny idea. Random key grip.
Okay.
That is the category. The key grip that I chose is, his name is J. Patrick Daly.
Okay.
And I just picked 4 movies out of his filmography where he was the key grip or like a rigger or operator.
I support this decision.
So the J. Patrick Daly selections are Gangs of New York.
Okay.
Spider-Man. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Love it.
Wild Wild West with Will Smith.
Please, Patreon. Please vote Wild Wild West. Please.
And he, just for fun fact, he worked on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like, that's also in his filmography. And then the last one, there's several that I could do. I think I'm gonna go with Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman.
Please vote Wild Wild West. Please.
Would you help me out here? Would you rather have Outbreak or Air Force One for the last selection? Which one would you rather talk about more? Because I think
I've never seen either of them.
Let's go Air Force One. I think keep Outbreak because it's weird science, like disease stuff.
Please do Wild Wild West.
But
I want to talk about how Stevie Wonder was brought out on stage to perform the song and they left him out there and they didn't know how to leave. I want to talk about the music.
I loved his filmography.
Let me talk about Selma Hayek.
He's worked in a lot of movies, and I'll run through some of them when we actually do the episode. But I was really struggling because I was like, I want a good one. And I feel like we talked about time travel, and I just wasn't really down with the idea because they're all movies that I don't really want to talk about right now. And then Bob was like, why don't you pick a random key grip? Just pick 4 of his movies. And I was like, that's awesome.
And we're going to tag him in the post and he'll be confused.
Yeah, so I was like, well, let's think of one really good movie, and I'll pick that key grip. And I picked Gangs of New York. And so I didn't know that he had such an extensive filmography. He also worked on Forrest Gump.
And if you want to listen to that episode, you can listen to it in 2 weeks if you are a supporter of our Patreon at the $5 tier. Go to patreon.com/hairofthedogcast to get access to that. Special thanks to our Patreon executive producers. We have the wonderful Phil Wright, Brian Ward, Ryan Christy Nick, Kip Kipper, Jordan Hoff, Kelly Gutowski, Phil, just Red Bear Phil, thanks Tyler, Justin Melly, Just Sonic, Spetsnaz, Ejot, and Tony Pepperoni.
Thank you guys for all your support, and I can't wait to see which J. Patrick Daly movie you pick.
And go watch The Mummy.
Yes, please do.
Do it.
With the fourth one coming down the pike pretty soon, you're going to do yourself a favor.
Mummy 2, I'm afraid to watch it. Mummy 1, though, is perfect.
Well, death is not the end. I don't know how to end this.
That's great.
Death is not the end.
That's actually great. This is the end.